Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Ultra Hardware number 67050. This is an aluminum push-in spring-loaded flap letter slot is what it is. Relatively inexpensive piece of equipment. Utilitarian, going to be used in typical applications where you obviously need to add the ability for a letter slot. Residential, possibly commercial applications as well, someone might install something like this. So just having removed it from the packaging shows us what we're dealing with here. Not real happy with how that spring is situated on the inside. Tugging that up a little bit. Okay, spring-loaded front flap. Just completely surface mounted, although you're going to need to create a prep in the door itself, obviously for the mail to travel through, or the media to travel through. Inside trim plate, and then some fasteners, and these are just okay. So regarding fasteners, they've supplied us with very small machine screws and acorn nuts. So I suppose they're intending that you're going to through bolt this, and I'm getting the impression that they're meant for a storm door. Based on the length, it's what it says right there. Okay, I didn't read the description first. For use with screen and storm doors. So they are planning on you installing this down to something that's quite thin. Let's take a look and see the length of what this machine bolt is. I'm going to say that's very likely just 832. So with its acorn nut, it's going to be quite thin. Then you've got to get through the material thickness. So this is going to be going down to something that is going to be, absolutely, eighth of an inch thick, something in that range, is what they're going to be planning on that for. Obviously, going on to something that's thicker, if you want to through bolt it, you're going to use longer screws, no doubt. Let's take a look at that. That material thickness on the outside, the beveled edge, just roughly speaking, looks like it's about 3/16 thick. That material thickness, of course, is likely going to be about, 40 thousandths perhaps, if not maybe a little bit thinner. Appears to be all aluminum and just a black powder coat. Thickness of the inside plate is .045. Now, what size hole would you cut through the door? Well, I'll tell you, I think that I would probably... I might be tempted to simply use the inside plate as a pattern, okay? Because the outside seems to fit into that quite well. So I might be pretty tempted to take that plate and just trace, and then I would very likely just do a quick jigsaw cut on the inside and then the outside face of the door as well. One downside of doing it in this area, I might be tempted to, maybe make it rectangular by coming right to here in case you were going to try to close off the inside of the prep so that when you're pushing your mail through, if it's a metal door, well, forgive me, it's going to be a storm door, so it'll be quite thin. I don't want to catch any of the material coming through and having it rip or tear on the cut. So you might want to dress that off or put a sleeve, if possible, inside of there. But the fact that those screws are so short tells us that they are indeed intending that to be for a typical screen door sort of application. Okay, black powder coat. They're very light, very light. Let's take a look, just so you have an idea of how light they are. About less than a quarter pound is the bottom line. Let's switch to the screen view and take a closer look at the supporting documentation. Okay, so this is the item that we are here looking at. Extended description information down below. Aluminum push and spring-loaded flap letter slot. It's a letter slot because it's the size appropriate for letters, and letters are smaller than magazines, and magazine sizes exist as well. As a letter size, it's about 8-inch wide and 2-inch tall. Black, made of aluminum, spring-loaded push flap. Dimensional properties. They say that it meets the postal regulations. I would see no reason why it wouldn't. It matches design criteria of other mail slots that I've seen. Furnished with nuts and bolts. Now, there's a link here below this video to the manufacturer's page, and that link is going to allow you to review not only all of the Ultra products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the product catalog, and that's handy. If we go back to our item and copy our part number, and then open up the product catalog, that's handy because you'll be able to review not only the 67050 if you were to do a find function on your keyboard, but you'll see all of the other items that go along with this. So if you wanted the same spring-loaded letter sleeve, mail slot in different finishes, well, they're listed right here. Anodized, white, black, other sizes and types of mail slots. There is that door sleeve that we had mentioned earlier. They don't indicate that this is compatible with any unit up above, and the reason is because obviously this is meant for a storm door, so a sleeve would not really go with that at all. However, if you're looking for a unit not for a storm door, you'll want to look down in here. Different finishes, made of brass, magazine size, letter size. Although this 3x10, that's like a hybrid. That's a bit between a magazine and a letter slot. The magazine's going to be closer to 13-inch, but be mindful to pick up the sleeve. If it's a wood door, you're going to want that, is the bottom line. So the rest of this catalog is worth looking into because Ultra is a comprehensive provider of many things, commercial and residential hardware related. If you are a commercial client, I would take a close look at their exit devices. I would look at their lock sets and their door closers. Residential clients, I would take a look at their cabinet hardware. Really good offering of pretty decent quality and very, very good value cabinet hardware. Most of it is made of zinc, but not all. They have some brass material, but good quality material. Let's wrap up this video on camera. Okay, in conclusion, a decent quality item from Ultra Hardware. Generally, you'll find, looking through the Ultra Hardware catalog, is the availability is usually quite good, and that's because, well, Ultra is an importer of material from Asia, and what that means is that they will bring in container loads of material, so their inventory is usually incredibly deep, or they're out for several weeks, if not months. Although the latter of the two is relatively unusual, is the bottom line. Their inventory is usually flush, or at least enough to meet or exceed the current requirements of the project. So, if you have any questions on this Ultra Hardware 67050 aluminum push-in style spring-loaded letter slot or any other Ultra product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you. If you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up. Please click subscribe as well, and even share the video with someone that you know. And if you have any questions for a future video, please send them our way and we will make every attempt to oblige. And thank you very much.